have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it! My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
It's time to buckle up for making sense of the madness.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here, and the House Oversight Committee has actually released 20,000 pages, although a lot of them are basically the tail ends of emails, so it's not really 20,000 pages of documents, but it's close. It's well over 10,000, probably closer to 15 plus. And how do I know this? Well, I went and downloaded them like anybody else watching this broadcast can. And what we're going to do is in real time go through a bunch of these emails, because when I tell you about the first email that I actually took a look at, it just confirmed everything that I wanted to say about the individual in the thumbnail, Michael Wolff. Now, for those who are not familiar with Michael Wolff, he is a longtime quote-unquote journalist and somebody who puts out book after book after book, but especially did quite the hit piece, if you will, on Donnie T during his first administration. Now, I say hit piece because it was certainly projected in certain angles to make Trump look bad. Now, that makes a lot of people break out their jump to conclusions mats and say, well, this guy's a bad actor for a foreign country, etc., or some kind of an intel agency. I actually think it's much, much simpler than that. And that, in turn, was one of the angles that I was going to take. And what I think is that Michael Wolff is the kind of person that is a social climber that wants to be embraced by what he thinks is his brethren. They're really his overlords within the predator class. And he likes to make money doing it. He's greedy. He's for sale, essentially. So someone or a group can come to him and they can say, hey, we want you to do this book, but we certainly want this type of a viewpoint. And if the price is right, Michael Wolff is willing to play ball. And he is willing to work with somebody as grotesque, okay, and infamous after the fact as these emails, I believe they begin in 2017. We're going to show you that here today. He's very eager to talk to Jeffrey Epstein. And because these things start in 2017, before Epstein is arrested, incarcerated, and then we have the two suicide attempts, the second one successful. We're all supposed to just believe that. he periodically releases things about Trump and Epstein that are not in his book, okay? And the Trump-Epstein relationship is well known, has been well known. I was talking about it probably close to a decade ago after the book Filthy Rich had come out and established some of the relationship between Trump and Epstein. And there were a smattering of other mainstream articles out there that showed they had a relationship. A lot of people did not want to talk about that. I'm not scared to talk about the truth. And the truth of the matter is that, you know, Trump also tried to burn Epstein after the fact during that run to the 2016 presidency by declaring his association with Bill Clinton a liability for the Hillary campaign in that Sean Hannity interview. Okay? So all this has a historical precedence. Now, a lot of people came out and said that Michael Wolff, for instance, was lying about this birthday book that he had access to and was sitting on. And think about this. If he's got access to, you know, the Trump happy birthday with the silhouette of the woman, he's had it for years, and he's got access to a bunch of other people in that book that still have not been released. Right? But he does so at opportune times for the powers that shouldn't be, if you will, and for a paycheck. He's a sniveling, greedy minion of the system. Does that mean he gets everything wrong? Absolutely not. I told people, I think that birthday thing, and now after I've actually seen it, after a fake one was put out and we reported on that, the real one has now been reported in the mainstream media. If you don't think that Trump could have drawn that and that, you know, someone else within his organization could have wrote it, dictated it to him, and then him signed off on it, I mean, come on, you're being naive. You're being like Stormy Daniels relationship naive. Now, if you're going to go the other, you know, side of the spectrum, where you act like their relationship was totally and completely nefarious, and he was involved in the illegal activity that Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, the cohort of others that we have named extensively on this broadcast, that were spared via that sweetheart deal in Miami. Well, I've never seen the evidence of that. Anytime that has come up, I have challenged people to show me that evidence, and it's simply not there. Does that mean that he's totally and completely innocent? No. Especially now after the fact, where he's calling it a hoax every time, and Bongino and Patel just acting like deer in the headlights every time they're asked about it. No. But the media spin on this latest release, and we're going to show you some headlines, we're going to play some clips, is that the Democrats are the ones bringing out the Epstein documents. Not true. This is actually a coalition, and it's led by Thomas Massie, not a Democrat. Okay? And that's another reason we've been huge on Massie. He's the real deal. He's the guy. He's putting his neck on the line. I mean, for all those people that espouse the quote-unquote conservative movement and accountability and free speech and small government, if you're not for Thomas Massie and you're parroting these things Trump says, okay, I just cannot relate to you. You're not in reality. All right? So, going back just quickly to Wolff, the very first email that I looked at confirmed everything I thought about Wolff. And we're going to show it to you. In fact, it's up on my X right now. We'll probably do that first live. Okay? Because that's the reality of the situation. He's a sniveling minion who likes money, who's willing to work with people like Epstein, okay, to try to bring down Trump in the public arena. That's so far what I've gotten out of these emails that I've looked almost none at. There's 20,000 pages. But then I found another thing, which, I mean, it's got to be given some context, But I mean, there are people out there, like it's a Paul Krasner thing. Well, this is going to be the first email we show you. And then we're just going to go down the line. We'll also take any super chat question or comments. That's open right now. We certainly have a goal. We're going to read the documents live on air. No spin. No spin. But we're going to show you how the mainstream has spun it. And we're going to show you Bradley Edwards, a lawyer for a lot of these women, talking about how Trump actually was the only one to cooperate with him. Okay, and who knows who else he cooperated with after the fact, whether they were in law enforcement or not. And said he was very helpful. That's way back in the day with my man Derek Brose and the Conscious Resistance. I could show you that interview, but we're just going to show you the couple of minutes on Anderson Cooper where he reiterates that after, Donnie T comes out and he starts talking about a Democratic hoax. And the reason he's doing that is because, again, we're talking intel, we're talking arms dealing, we're talking banking, and we're talking powerful people that are very, very much alive and in play right now to this day. So again, we're going to show you the three emails first that the mainstream media and their headlines are trying to spin. All right, we're going to show you those first. And then we're going to show you that there's, there's 20,000 more pages, really like 15,000 plus more, that the media is not talking about. Why is that? And why are they only focusing on it being a Democrat versus Trump thing? Everything's the Democrats versus Trump. A lot of nuance in there. A lot of things in here that are not about left and right. I just want to point that out. So, as we get her started, let's thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Comment down below, not just in the live stream. I really do appreciate that, folks. And if you can support the broadcast, if you want something beyond spin and headlines via not only the mainstream but the alternative, please consider donating $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. Big donors, thank you so much. There's also a PayPal link down below. We want to thank the good people at Marigold Resources for supporting the broadcast. Todd McGreevy is the man. You buying and selling a business, go check them out. Also has a great independent media outlet, rcreader.com. You can also get it in print. Again, my man McGreevy is the man. Let's see. Did anyone give me a follow over on X? I don't know. Let's see. Did anyone? No, we're down. We're up one from the last broadcast. Let's do this because I promised you we were going to start with this email that no one else is talking about. And then we'll get into how the mainstream is spinning it. Okay? So here it is. Let's open this image in a new tab, please. We'll do that. Okay, here it is. And in it, as you can see, you start from the bottom, you go to the top. This is on February 15th, 2017, to Jeffrey Epstein directly. Okay, this is how he starts it out. Okay? So, I'm doing this Trump book for a pile of money. Oh, it's a pile of money, is it? And with so far quite a bit of cooperation from them. Yeah, Don did interviews with them. They really did cooperate. DT called me the other day and spent 45 minutes on the phone ranting and raving about the media. Alarming. So you already know this guy's perspective. He can't wait to get paid a bunch of money. He's telling Jeffrey Epstein and his people that he's alarmed by Trump. He's acting like his buddy. I wonder if you could introduce me to Tom Barack, just saying I'm a journalist who you know and trust. Oh, yes, Jeffrey. I mean, just like, this is his vacation email, by the way. This is his vacation Gmail. That you know and trust. And I'll follow up with a description of the project that I'm doing. Also, I'd love a reintroduction to Kathy Rumier. I need some off-the-record perspective on White House procedures. Are you in New York City soon? And, you know, they make the date. That's the first, literally, guys, that is the first email. You'd think that that would be a media headline, that Michael Wolff is doing a book for a pile of money on Trump. And by the way, if the alternative conservative media was real, like if they actually had like an original thought in their brain and not just talking points, they would have found that email before me. It would be all over social media. But it's not. It's because they're lazy, okay, and they're uninformed. Smokey Doke, thank you so much. He says that I will be a tiny donor. All donations are appreciated. That's a $2 bill, y'all. We'll take that $2 bill. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate that. Again, we're going to go through the documents, but now let's go through the spin of the mainstream. So this is what you're getting. Even right here, this is oversightdemocrats.house.com. So they want to give you these 3 emails. These are the ones they're featuring, okay? Not what I just showed you. Not what I just showed you, okay? And then they want to kind of selectively perpetrate what they say so they can get their headlines, right? And they get their, look at this, breaking. We have received new emails that Jeffrey Epstein estate that raises questions about Donald Trump and his knowledge of Epstein's horrific crimes. We already knew he knew. Okay? There is no news here, right here. I mean, let's see if we can, we'll open this one up. Open image in a new tab, thank you. Let's get it right in there, okay? So let's read it, okay? I want you to realize that dog hasn't barked. That hasn't barked is Trump. Victim spent hours at his house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Okay? Now, this is the talk, and here's Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein. And he's just saying that Trump knew and didn't say anything to law enforcement at that time, or that he knew of. This back in 2011, by the way. So I don't know whether or not Edwards had approached him. Okay? And the victim, by the way, seems to be Virginia Giuffre Roberts, who's no longer with us. Let's open this one in a new tab. These are the ones that the media is spinning, all right? And say, this person at Mar-a-Lago, again, it looks like Virginia Giuffre Roberts. Trump said he asked me to resign. Never remember ever. Of course, he knew about the girls, and he asked Ghislaine to stop. So this is between Michael Wolff and Epstein. And all this does is confirm they're falling out. And Trump said it before, over him poaching girls, one of them Virginia Giuffre Roberts. Okay? Now, Bradley Edwards, in that interview with Derek Bro, said he was aware of that rumor but wasn't able to confirm it, but at the same time represented Virginia Giuffre Roberts. So that also receives question. They want to make it about Democrats and Republicans, and we're going to play you this clip from MSNBC. Thomas Massey is the dude. Here he is. The 218th and final signature for the Epstein discharge petition will happen tomorrow. And it did. And it did. He did it. And you want to know why they want him out? That's why. Okay? See, I mean, these are the headlines. These are the ridiculous headlines. Now, if you want the real deal, you go to oversight.house.gov. In fact, we're going to give you an opportunity to play along. We're going to put that in the YouTube chat. Let's get those thumbs up, everybody. So there you go. That link right there will take you to these 2 links where you can download all of these documents. And we're going to get there in a moment. But first, we're going to break down this I mean, again, instead of focusing on names, associations with Epstein, it's all Trump, 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 Trump. Big distraction. Mr. Holstein, how we doing? National OG today. Happy OG today. I don't know how OG I am, my friend, but we do appreciate this. Again, no one's talking about these Epstein documents, and the spin is it's all Orange Man bad. Let's get to it.
Just teased. Just moments ago, the House Oversight Committee released never-before-seen emails from Jeffrey Epstein's estate, which include correspondence between Epstein and his longtime co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, currently incarcerated on sex trafficking charges. Let's now bring in MSNBC Justice and Intelligence reporter Ken Delanian, who has been digging through these emails. Ken, what have we learned so far?
Good morning, Jonathan. Well, look, the Epstein estate has released some 23,000 emails.
Now, look, he's looking at his phone. He hasn't dug through anything. His talking points, they didn't even have time to put on a teleprompter for him. He's a Muppet. All right, this is Muppet talk. Morning, Joe. No, it's Muppet morning.
and House Democrats have been poring over them, and they found some correspondence directly mentioning Donald Trump by name. They've released 3 of these emails, and they're quite interesting. The first one was between Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein back in 2011, where Epstein wrote that Donald Trump spent hours at my house with an unnamed victim of sex trafficking, whose name is redacted in the email. And Epstein referred to Trump as the dog that hasn't barked. And then in a separate email years later with author Michael Wolff in 2019, Epstein said explicitly that Donald Trump, quote, knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. And then the Democrats cite another email with Wolff in 2015 where Epstein and Wolff are discussing if they can craft an answer for an upcoming Donald Trump interview. And Wolff sort of suggests that Epstein has leverage over Donald Trump, saying if he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you valuable PR and political currency.
Let me just stop you. Now, remember, our email on the book, he doesn't tell Epstein about the book until 2017. They have a running relationship, Michael Wolff and Epstein, to try to take him down and have political leverage on him. You know how insane that is? Do you not? Why isn't that the headline? All right. In fact, if you look at it, at least, and I'm going to give the Daily Mail some credit here. At least they talk about this, that they have these emails from 2014 to 2019. All right. Let me read this. The author emailed Epstein with a subject line, "Heads up," on December 15, 2015, the day the Republican primary televised by CNN. I hear CNN is planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or in a scrum afterwards. Literally, Michael Wolff is a minion, an utter minion. Like when I told you he was a servant of the predator class, that he was for sale. He's a minion of Epstein. Somebody, by 2015, we all knew was a serial abuser of children. But we got to take down Trump at any means necessary. Epstein asked Wolff if he should help prepare an answer for the then presidential candidate, but the author advised the billionaire financier that he should allow Trump to allow himself, because his response could yield political capital. If we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? Epstein asked. Wolff responded, I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to your house, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. Again, props to the Daily Mail for pointing some of this stuff out. But the real story is none of this is putting Michael Wolff in a good light. He's palling it up with Epstein to take out Trump's candidacy. Let's go back to the media spin, however.
Now, look, Jeffrey Epstein, it was a manipulative monster, and so you really can't take anything he says to the bank here. But this is important evidence.
Well, yeah, he's a manipulative monster working with Michael Wolff, working with him in a friendly sense to try to take down Trump. Why isn't that part of the story there, Babblemouth? Oh, that's right. You're reading the talking points off your phone. You're not fervently going through these in a journalistic or in a manner with any integrity at all.
That people trying to understand what Donald Trump's relationship was with Jeffrey Epstein and what his role was and where he was and did he go to the House. This is important evidence that fills in some blanks on that picture. The Democrats believe there are more to come from these emails that have been released by the Epstein estate, John.
And we should note our friend Joyce Vance notes on Twitter just now, which she's also pouring through these emails, that one of them dates from 2011 when Epstein would have had really little incentive to lie, and it's well before Trump's political career, of course. So this is, Ken, the story that Donald Trump just wants to go away. And he's done a pretty good job, I guess, of telling MAGA influencers, hey, stop talking about this. He kind of quelled that rebellion that we saw over the summer. There's a real belief that Speaker Johnson sent the House home when he did.
Listen, Trump was maybe successful in getting some of the more mainline lapdogs that had jumped on the Epstein bandwagon to shut up. This has gone nowhere with the base. They can go to imagination land and act like they've made it into a hoax. No. Your ultra-loyalist talking heads have put it to the side. Anybody with a semblance of independence refuses to put it to the side, not only because it's the right thing to do, but because the general public still isn't buying it, bro. They're pissed about this. You know, again, you go back to even before the election when I was saying vote for the guy. I said, I don't really think we're getting the Epstein documents. I'll believe it when I see it. I also said that if I really believed we were getting the 9/11 documents, I would have gone out and campaigned door to door for the guy. So that should have showed me the confidence I had there. I said maybe JFK, RFK, and MLK. You see what we've gotten. Have we gotten it all? No. Sorry. No sauce. Provably dishonest on that as well. Okay? But at the same time, the spin here is like somehow Trump was protecting Epstein. We knew they were buddies. We knew about the falling out at Mar-a-Lago. We knew about the business deals that they were cutthroat on and severed the relationship. We knew it. Why is that the focus of these emails? The 3 they showed you out of the, again, 20,000 plus.
In part, to not talk about Epstein and not swear in that Arizona Congresswoman-elect who is going to provide the decisive vote. So a couple of things here. I know you're still going through the emails, but this is, and we expect Johnson to do that swearing in later today. There's going to be more to come, right? And we should note Trump has long since challenged the credibility of Michael Wolff on other matters, but we'll see. He's getting these emails from Epstein, too. What else should we expect, not just potentially from these emails, but from what new material may still be coming?
Well, look, I mean, there's got to be more information that sheds light on Donald Trump's longtime relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Whether it's incriminating to Donald Trump remains to be...
Trump. Not a mention. No one else gets mentioned in this. Trump. It's not what these emails are about. Listen, Trump, after the fact, like I said, has not looked good. We know that we have burned CDs, binders, hard drives of real evidence that has not been released to the public. Bar none. That exists. All right? We know there is more information about his financial relationships to people like Adnan Khashoggi and Ehud Barak. We know this. We know it all. Instead, it's Trump. What did Trump know? Trump. Well, I'll tell you what. Like I said, we're going to be going through some of these emails. And actually, the first one we're going to go through, the subject line is Trump, but it's going to have a spin on it, everybody. That not going to be covered by anybody else. That's why I hope you support me. Let's continue, because this guy, he's going to go to his phone a few more times, because he's a journalist. He's combing through the documents. Tell you about Trump and how bad Trump is. And then I think we've got a little clip of AOC right after telling you how bad Trump is. It's all about Trump.
But it's got to be there in those emails and elsewhere in the files. And in fact, we know that Trump was told that his name was in the quote-unquote Epstein files, the unreleased information from the Justice Department. Again, we've always been told that there's nothing in that material that incriminates others to the point where they should have been charged. That's what investigators have always said, long before this became an issue of controversy. But you're absolutely right. As a political matter, it's just so interesting because the MAGA world has long believed that there's a conspiracy to cover up what happened with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, now the people who have control of the material is the Trump administration. And so, but yet the MAGA folks have not turned their fire on Donald Trump personally. They've been very mad at Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, the FBI director.
I'm mad at them all. Every day. Listen, Bondi and Patel are getting it because they should, because they went on a podcast and media tour prior to the administration saying you were going to get it. At least Donnie T kind of shied away from it. We've shown you those clips as well. Never guaranteed it. Kind of reluctantly said, yeah, I guess so, maybe, kind of, sort of. Okay? But those two, they went on podcast tours. Pam Bondi, after being in the administration, said she had the documents on her desk. They had a signed-off fiasco with those same influencers that aren't talking about Epstein now, giving them documents people like myself had exposed half a decade and plus to the American public. And I didn't get an invite. I didn't get a binder. Just saying.
For what they consider, inaction and not releasing these files. And so far, the Justice Department's position is we're not releasing anything more. But this, as you said, this is a live political issue. The interesting question is going to be, do these emails or does other information cause anyone in the MAGA movement to start turning their attention to Donald Trump and asking him what he's hiding and whether more information should be released, Jonathan?
MSNBC Justice and Intelligence reporter Ken Delaney. And Ken, thank you as always.
Thank you, as always. Trump, Trumpity, Trump. Let's jump it here, past this, and let's go to our friend AOC, who I'm sure she's going to have a lot to say via Trump. And these we got documents in Trump. And Trump. Do we have some more Trump? It's hard.
See you. I'm wondering if you saw these emails that came out from the House Oversight Committee. What is what do you think it shows you about what we know about Trump's relationship with Epstein?
Well, I think we've been seeing Republicans have been trying to deflect and imply that, even House Speaker Mike Johnson had insinuated a couple months ago that Trump was on some kind of secret mission. I think what these emails demonstrate is precisely why House Republicans have been trying to block the release of the Epstein files for months now. I think it illustrates in a very damning way, and I think it also implicates House Speaker Mike Johnson as well, as to why he has refused to call the House back into session for over a month now and prevent the 218th signature from releasing the Epstein files, which is that, it seems as though Donald Trump had a very close personal relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and that he had personally spent time with victims.
We knew all this, but it's Trump and Trump. Did I mention Trump? How about some more Trump for you? Democrats, Republicans, Trump. No one mentioning Massey. No one mentioning Wolff, their go-to guy when they want to bash Trump, and his personal relationship with Jeffrey Epstein to team up against Trump. The spin is absolutely incredible, and we're gonna play this, and then we're gonna go to the documents. Okay, I promised documents. We've got some documents. This is Bradley Edwards and one of the victims talking about their disappointment with Trump because from what he's seen, the guy isn't criminally involved. We've known all this, and he cooperated with Edwards. But hey, it's time for some Anderson Cooper, so it's all Trump.
Joining me is attorney Brad Edwards, who has represented more than 200 Epstein survivors, including Lisa Phillips, who says that she was 21 when she first met Epstein and that she endured his abuse for years. Lisa, I appreciate you being with us, both of you being with us. You heard the president call this a Democrat hoax that never ends. What did you think when you hear that?
For me personally, it was shocking and upsetting. I couldn't believe that he said that. Just for so many years, he acknowledged that there were thousands of files and he was going to release them. And so hearing that today, I was just confused by it. I think he thought that we were targeting him, and we weren't. I don't believe there's any evidence that he abused any of the survivors. So it wasn't a target against him. It was just, a cry for us being fed up and wanting answers.
What is it? What's the impact been on your life? How are you holding up through this? Not just in recent months, but this is obviously going on for many years.
Well, it comes in waves. It's hard to deal with because we just want some accountability, and we haven't received any. the only person that's been held accountable is a woman. And we were abused by a man who sex trafficked a lot of us. And so we are aware there are many other men out there, and we just don't understand, or we are nearing the end of our fight, pushing us to, you know, make other decisions, to see if we can get some accountability.
Brad, I'm wondering what your reaction to the president calling a hoax.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Anderson. It doesn't make any sense. I don't think, I know that he doesn't believe that it's a hoax. I'm not sure that he knows what the word hoax means, to tell you the truth, because I've talked to President Trump years ago about this case on this topic. He provided information. He knew back then the type of creep that Jeffrey Epstein was. I can't imagine that he's saying that these hundreds of women are lying about this, so I'm not exactly
This
sure
was
what
back
he's
in
talking about.
2009, you said you talked to him.
Sure, I talked to him in 2009 several times back then, and at least through the years have even asked follow-up questions through his lawyers. He's not implicated in the files that I've ever seen, and like I've said, I've represented 200 women. So all I can think is that he has now seen the files or has been advised of things in the files that he didn't know was in the files, and that I currently don't know that are in the files, because otherwise it makes absolutely no sense, this about face that he's done. You're either on the side of the victims or you're on the side of evil.
That's it. That's it. And that's why, again, I will take him to the woodshed on the cover-up after the fact. Now, as I promised, we're doing it, and we're doing it live. Here are some of those files, everybody. Okay? You wanted them, you got them. So we're going to start right here because this was like 5 files in, and we're going to go through them. This is from yet another journalist and author. I had to look him up. We're going to show you. Paul Krasner. And this is in February 1st, 2017. He says the allegation was not a quote-unquote, let's call it a patty party. It was at my house with me. What? To what wording would you suggest I change that? Okay, so I would assume that that is something, that Krasner is asking Epstein after the fact about the relationship with Trump and whether or not he had spent time with the victims, and it seems like this is a different journalist out there. Krasner, he died in 2019. So a couple years after that interaction, wrote books, and I don't know much about him. Just going to say that Psychedelic Sex, the hardcover, Confessions of a Raving Unconfined Nut, seemed to be part of like the Yippie movement and the psychedelic movement as well. And Patty Hearst and the Twinkie Murders, A Tale of Two Trials. Okay? So if people know about Paul Krasner, tell me about him in the chat, please. So let's go. We're doing it. Like I said, we're doing live time Epstein. Okay? Man, I wish that we could just get it so they're all zoomed in on, but I guess not. So Landon Thomas, channeling you, maybe even a big guy, gives it a read. What it's this from the failing New York Times. So we got some kind of Trump investment. So Trump is like a hot topic also because he's going to be, the president or is the president in these emails. Like by 2017, obviously, the president. Let's just go up to 15. Let's see. Etnian Benyant, unimpressed. Again, a lot of these going to be garbage, but they show the booking, the accounts. There's $1 million in a bank account, checks and balances, yada, yada, yada. See, this would be what people actually do when they comb over documents, right? When they actually have done it. Let's see. Talking about artists, this is why it's important for me to go to LA or Berlin or elsewhere, because those artists are not rich yet. They don't travel so much. They belong to a scene. And it does make a big difference to them if you connect in person. The Spirit is having an impact on the young, talented folks. And absolutely state of the source. All right? So, again, Epstein was heavy in the art world and heavy in the world with the young folks as well. Let's see. This is talking about some of the art stuff in L.A. These are some of those junk emails I was talking to. This is from Darren Indike. Okay? And is supposedly, a lot of this stuff is marked attorney-client privilege, by the way. Dear Darren, I hope all is well. Can you let me know if the below works? And I don't know what that modus operandi is. What's weird is that these weren't released in PDF format, but it's not really weird because, first of all, what I should have done is I should have just taken all these and compiled them into one PDF, which I may do, and then you can do keyword searches after you OCR them. But we downloaded it, and we're doing it live. We're doing it live. Who is Darren? I'm going to assume Darren Indike is an Epstein attorney. Let's do it. And by the way, let's thumbs it up, subscribe, and share, everybody. Yes, he is a lawyer and financier, and as an executor of the estate for Epstein, along with Richard Kahn. Richard Kahn in this emails, in a lot of these emails as well. Now, I'm sure he's represented some pretty high-profile people other than Epstein as well. Just a hunch. That's all. Let's see. What do we got? This one looks like another Darren email. Not sure there's anything great there. Again, a lot of this stuff is going to be junk. Hope you're having a great week. I should find all the Michael Wolff emails and just do a whole broadcast on that. Let's see. We have 10K being discussed right here. A lot of money stuff. All this seems to be the art with the LA and the Berlin trip. See how I told you a lot of the junk's going to be there? Let's see. More stock stuff. Thomas Jr. Landon. Who's that? Who's Thomas? Landon Thomas Jr. That's who it would be. Landon Thomas Jr. Bam. So here, all right. Now here's some articleage. People are actually going through these emails. So 3 hours ago, we've got this right here. Jeffrey Epstein fretted about Trump 2016 win. Emails show. Yes, they do. We've already shown you kind of some of that. Convicted, Jeffrey Epstein had a cozy relationship with the New York Times finance journalist. Oh, another journalist. Did he? Weird. With the two discussing news coverage of the disgraced financier as well as the 2016 presidential election, emails released by a congressional panel Wednesday show. Landon Thomas Jr. In several emails commiserated about Donald Trump potentially defeating Hillary Clinton, with the journalist venting in February 10th, 2016 exchange, "It's getting scary, the stories you could tell. Actually, I don't think he or voters would care. Being effectively shameless is a pretty powerful weapon for a presidential candidate," Epstein responded. So again, Epstein is the one calling Trump shameless after being his best friend and working with journalists to try to take Trump down. As Trump climbed in the polls, Thomas appeared to grow more frantic, asking in a June 1st, 2016 email, "Does he win? I am getting worried. Is he ever going to implode?" Epstein said, "Too late. Ask again on the 30th. So just before the election. I guess another month. It's in November, but September 30th. If you knew Trump was going to win, how would you position your portfolio?" Thomas asked Edison in the September exchange. Wants a little fun. These people are all greedy minions. Greedy minions. Ex-blacked out brunette. Thank you, Jason. You're the best. No, you're the best. Thank you so much for supporting the broadcast. Without people like yourself, and if somebody makes another comment, it'll scroll up so you can see her, we wouldn't be able to do this. There it is right there. One more comment. One more. Can we do it? We'll read this. The network convinced VG to name names. Virginia Giuffre to name names and said that they would protect her, only to turn around and chicken out. Again, if you look at Virginia Giuffre Roberts, it certainly actually does look like a suicide situation. So a woman who had been abused apparently since she was 7 years old, according to her new post-humanist book, and then was having some kind of issue with her ex-husband that apparently was very abusive, had been excommunicated from her children. There's only, listen, if anything will tell you something about this situation, it's that once you are abused to that extent in that manner, nothing is going to cure that in a monetary or I guess a sense of having things. Things aren't going to save you. You got it? Like, I can't imagine having to deal with that type of trauma, okay? Thomas left the Times in January 2019, and then attempts to contact him were unsuccessful. I bet they were. Again, he doesn't even seem like the most weasel-esque guy. To me, it looks a lot like Wolff is the weasel. The Wolff of Weasel. So let's keep going. Let's see what else we got. Here's the Landon guy. More Landon. Let's see. Let's read something. Maybe that's something. Seems to me he is a natural guy for you. He is going to be in Florida in March for some Trump event. I know some of his financial guys pretty well. I might try to facilitate something if you are not opposed. And I guess it's Massa, who is some individual that is referencing finances and whatnot. Okay? So they're trying to set up meetings. So not just about the news, but about money. And there we go. There's some more investment stuff. Let's see. And that's more of that exchange. Okay, we got something TSA related. TSA called me. They inform closing TSA inspection at 3 p.m. after if we could depart at 2:30. So, this is just private plane departures. The Epstein plane that everybody talks about. Here's another TSA. And this is funny. This is a coinky dink. Let's see who Larry Visacki is. So this is in 2017, and it looks like his plane is going to depart sometime but right before Trump's plane. Okay, so let's just check. Hey, Florida guys, right? I would assume this is Florida, but let's do it. Who's Larry Visacki? And by the way, this is the kind of stuff that I would be doing on my own and will be doing on my own with this. Okay, the Epstein Chronicles, Flying Bird. This is from 12th. So it feels like he's the pilot. And the Art of Not Seeing, the Epstein Chronicles. He's a long-time pilot. Huh. So how about that? And this is the type of stuff that would have been combed through by real investigators, right? Like just to see what they were talking about. Oh, look at this. Deepak Chopra sent him something. Isn't that nice? You Are the Universe, 2017. The Big Guru. Oh, and look at this. Crazy new response to Trump's claim on wiretapping. Is he loco? So this is, let's see. Chopra asking if he's in the U.S. And then, yeah, they were spying on Trump. But is he crazy? Why not ask Jeffrey Epstein? That's the conversation that we're having between Deepak Chopra and Jeffrey Epstein. Just wild. I mean, again, what do we go through? Like 25 actual emails? Let's see. Is there anything more? There's some more Landon stuff. Okay. Trying to get you with Massa crowd. Some resistance, though, due to all the headlines and controversy, as you might expect. I tell them about your relationship with the Saudis, Gates, Trump crowd, but still doubts, working on it. Oh, the Saudis? See, these emails matter. Yeah, you mean like all those pictures with the new guy, MBS? like the passport where Jeffrey Epstein had a Saudi Arabian identity. Oh, like all the reports that his relationship with Bill Gates was way more extensive than Bill Gates is talking about. Same with Trump. All this stuff back in 2017, guys. All this back in 2017. Just throwing it out there. It's all right here. You know what? I think that is going to be a good time for us to wrap up this broadcast, okay? The documents are out there. I'm going to show everybody really quick again where they can get all the documents. The link is in there. Please, again, comment down below, thumbs it up, subscribe, ring the bell if you are subscribed, and please, 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 please also consider supporting the broadcast. You can get the documents right here, oversight.house.gov. You click that right there. Just do a little clicky and click, and then boom, they're right here. Here are the images of those emails, right? Go into right here. There they all are. Boom. You can grab them. You don't have to wait for the media to get them. You can get them. Folks, again, who's talking about this stuff? Who's showing you the actual documents? Who's giving you the perspective that's not about left or right, that is about right and wrong, that doesn't have TDS, but also isn't worshiping Donnie T? $5, $10, $15. It does mean the world to me. It helps support the broadcast. Big donors could not do it without you. There's also a PayPal link down below. And as I state at the end of all of my broadcasts, this issue especially, it's not Democrats and Republicans. It all gets obfuscated that way. But it is not about left or right. This has always been about right and wrong. I absolutely love you guys. Couldn't do it without you. And I will see you all on the flip side.